how to put English on the basketball.
Hello and welcome to another episode of With the English with myself, Sam Oakley, and with
Glen, just one name today.
disappointed. I thought it was on a roll
Just
there with all names.
nah, I'm just gonna do it the first span in the works and annoy you.
You know it does indeed. So we have a full episode full of information about the latest news in the NBA and also some views that we have that may have changed in recent weeks or days, sorry, because I need to call Glenn out on something that he said in a previous episode. But to start off with, we're nice and easy for you, Glenn. I want your opinion because I've seen the in-season tournament courts and jerseys, and I like them. We'll get onto that in a sec. But the in-season tournament, we've had our first set of games. Talk to me how you feel after the first set of games.
I've caught a few of them a little bit. I don't really think there's much difference in the play and the effort from the players. As you know, the initial games count to the regular season standings anyway. I believe it's not going to get really like playoff style competitive until maybe the quarterfinals, because
Okay.
then it's one and done, then, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like I was thinking about this earlier today. Actually, I almost feel like teams are just going to play their normal game, see where they end up. If they don't end up in the quarters, I don't think they'll care, and if they do, they'll maybe start taking it a bit more seriously. But I think the initial group games are going to be a bit, I don't know, just a bit of a trial and error sort of phase of are we serious about this? Are we not serious about this? Like you mentioned, the courts look good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Chicago's one though is very red, and
Yes.
probably lose the basketball, to be honest. Like when it was snowing and you'd have the orange football, so in case you couldn't see the white football,
Yeah,
there could be a
yeah.
bit of that. But
Is that
yeah,
that's next? A different kind of ball? Is that what you're saying?
a different color. Yeah, why not? A white basketball for these new courts. But yeah, it's. I think Alan Silver would have liked it to get more hype as it started, but we spoke earlier, and obviously, like say in America, people are still watching the NFL and stuff, and no one in the audience in America aren't really watching regular season basketball at the moment. So, like I say, I reckon it might take off a bit more as you get into the knockout games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think at the moment it's still trial and error. The games were close. I don't think at this stage of the season teams are kind of going midweek. Let's not let's not maybe play all of our players, because it's still early on. I know we had a game where Embiid was going to rest and then he didn't, but he just loves to do the I could have played. I didn't have to play, but I did. Look at me, as much as I love him. But I think it's too early in the season for players to be rotating on rest and stuff. But I think as time goes on, I think if they had a couple of wins under their belt, I think there's a chance of them going and maybe going even to, because I've heard about Vegas and things like that, and playing in that final and stuff. Then I think then you'll see more of it. But I do like the courts and the jerseys. I think that there's been a bit more hype around those now, and I think that helps with the hype because it does just feel like a regular season game. From when I watched it, you didn't see like anything extra. I mean, obviously, I didn't watch the arena cam, so it'd be interesting to see, I suppose, like for the arena cam, because obviously I'll watch the Sixers and you'll watch the Lakers on the league pass, and you get to see what they're doing in the arenas, if they're doing something different to try and hype the fan base up. But I'm not seeing anything different from the players that kind of give that intensity, but I think it's too early to tell.
Yeah, I think you made a good point just now that the games were quite tight. I think one game had a difference of 10 points towards the end. I think that was Dallas, Denver. But other than that, there have been sort of single digit games towards the end. So yeah, like I say, it'd be really cool if come these knockout games there is a bit of a playoff intensity, because you always mention the NCAA about
Yes.
being one and done and how exciting it is. So yeah, watch this space, I guess.
Indeed, yeah, yeah. No, I think March Madness is great. and having that sort of format is good. I know a lot of Americans like the best of 7, best of 5 series, hence why they have it across their sports, bar the NFL. The NFL is the most popular sport. Obviously, footy is a really popular sport worldwide, and they have those one and done competitions or best of 2 if you go into the Champions League, but the World Cup and stuff. So I think the NBA coming up with an initiative like that is good. Now we get to see the format more. So the exciting thing about it at the moment, early on, like you say, at the moment, it's still a bit of sort of uncertainty with how it's going to look. Draymond Green, I heard him on in the steam room, and I'm feeling the players saying the right things. I think the players are saying the right things, but the fans aren't talking about the games. The fans are talking about the jerseys.
They
So
are. And
yeah,
let's note something else I was wrong about a few weeks ago, saying, jerseys aren't cool if you're in your 30s, but I've learned in recent weeks that they are, and everyone is wearing them. And maybe I should just jump on
what about a
jump
jersey
on the
like
barrel.
this? This is the City Edition T-shirt that I've got.
Yeah, I do t-shirts, but I did say at the time I was bitter. But yeah, you're right. Everyone's excited about the jerseys. You've picked out your top 3.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your top 3?
Well, I would like to show it, but I've got a virtual background because of the work going on in my house at the moment. But so the two easiest ones for me, the top 2, for
Hmm.
2 different completely reasons. One is the New York Knicks, because it just looks clean cut. It reminds me of sort of the 90s sort of look with it. It doesn't look too sort of like played around with. It kind of reminds me of. I don't want to say this because of the recent news and stuff that it's kind of, but maybe it is because it's a thank you always watching the background, and I've been paying more attention to it, and it happened to be an episode where they go to watch the New York Knicks, and that's in Friends. It kind of reminds me of that era, the mid early 90s era. I could be completely wrong with this, so some Knicks fan can correct me, but it reminds me of that sort of era. So I like it because it's clean cut like that. It reminds me of an older school, but with a slight twist to it. And then complete opposite, because I love Pretty Green by Liam Gallagher. When Liam Gallagher was in charge of it, I love those sort of outrageously sort of tops. The Nets one, with all the multicolours on it, I like that one.
Yeah,
That's my number
yeah.
2. And then number 3, it's a tough one. I do like the Sixers one, but I don't want to be biased because it's because of the City of Brotherly Love. I like having that sort of slogan across it. But if for me, I think Indianapolis Indy one. I like that one. I like the yellow down the side. I think that they're my top 3. What about yourself? Have you got any of those in your top 3?
Yeah, so my top 3, number 3 is the Bucks.
Okay.
I just like the color scheme, to be honest. Just
Yes. Yeah.
plain and simple logic behind it.
Yeah.
And then second is Utah Jazz. Again, I like the color scheme, and I do like the designs a bit old school as well. That reminds me of sort of the John Stockton days. Like you mentioned, the 90s for the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing for the Utah. I really like that one. And the top one is Indiana.
Yeah.
I love the
There we go.
font. I love the simpleness of the black background, and then like you said, the trims down the sides and around the arms. Yeah, I think that's nice. And their court is my favorite as well.
Yeah, I do like their. I think India. I think overall for the tournament, probably I've probably got it there. Sixers have done well with theirs, the City of Brotherly Love, and it's a well-known thing. And obviously, Detroit and teams like normally would go with their sort of Motor City. You got Windy City with Chicago, Heat Culture. Some teams
I
have
tell you
played
my
on.
least favorite,
Go on.
the Lakers.
Do you
Doesn't
know
work.
what?
I know what
I
they're trying to do
agree.
with that. I know they're trying to do the old Minneapolis style old ones, but yeah, it's awful, to be honest. It doesn't work. And the Clippers, I think that's an awful one as well. It looks like something from JJB Sports.
That's an old
If
school
if
reference.
people if people remember JJB Sports back in the day, which used to, funnily enough, have a basketball court in the middle of the shop.
It did in Southampton. Yes, it did.
In
At the back, yeah.
Basingstoke.
See, I agree with you on the LA one, Clippers. Sorry, Lakers. I don't agree on the Clippers. I think Clippers is all right.
I did a comment on someone's Twitter about the Clippers one because it looked like at a glance it says chips,
That is true.
which which ironically the Clippers would know nothing about. So
Well,
I
there
did
we
find
go.
that quite funny, to be honest.
I hope you tag the. I'm going to try and tag the LA Clippers UK
Yeah,
account.
I think it was in that. Might have tweeted it.
The one that I do like, but makes I don't think the color scheme works for it is Boston's. It looks more like a Milwaukee jersey. But if it was a
Mm,
Bucks one, I'd probably like it. Not because I dislike Boston. I just don't think that color fit with Boston. So I do like the cut. I do like it, but I just don't think
yeah,
it suits Boston. But so Boston have done a. I like their jersey in the sense of the color scheme, but it's I don't think that little orangey color doesn't really suit them. So yeah, and I think people that are watching on YouTube. And if they're not, then they should definitely be watching on YouTube. Should like, comment, and subscribe as always. But in the comments, they should put what their favorite jerseys are and tweet at us our
it
favorite jerseys.
should.
I
Yeah,
think I think we should tweet out what everyone's favorite jerseys are and do a poll and see if ours come out. Since me and you've both gone indie, let's see if everyone else
and I'm
agrees.
happy for people to tell me that I was wrong about jerseys. Another thing that I was wrong about, because I know you want to
Yes,
get onto it.
yes.
Last week, I think the last 2 weeks I've mentioned how the East is weaker than the West. I'll get
Mm-hmm.
onto my Lakers at some point, but there have been some games to note regarding the East versus West. We've had your Sixers beat the Suns. We've had the
Yeah.
Hawks beat the Pelicans. We had the Raptors last night beat Spurs. I know Spurs are not going to come in as a contender, but there are
Playoff team
some
though.
big wins. There are some big wins from the Eastern teams against Western teams, and that's probably the second thing I'm wrong about from the last few weeks.
Well, I won't lie. I kind of agreed with you, to be honest, with regards to the
Mm,
West. I did think the West was stronger this year. And I did say if the James Harden move happened, the West would probably get stronger because the Clippers become, when they're healthy and everyone's playing, are one of the better teams. And with that starting five, or 6, 7, if you include a couple of only decent players they have now off the bench, probably better than a lot of the teams in the East. So I did agree with you. But yeah, I think, but and I said to you before is part of it's going to be in I think it's injuries because Durant put up some great numbers last night. Obviously, I didn't like you say it's NFL season, so I was watching the Eagles and stuff. But I saw he was trending last night.
Well, let's talk about, obviously, we follow Lakers and Sixers, and they're both on UK friendly tip off times on Saturday. Let's talk about Sixers Suns. I think you controlled that game from start to finish.
We did, and that's what worries me for the Suns. Take my bias away from it from the Sixers perspective. Kelly Oubre, probably a separate conversation, but most improved player candidate already this year, and potentially pick up of the season if he carries this on. But the thing that worry and being an ex-Sun as well, but I think so. You maybe had a bit of a thing, sort of an agenda, but the Suns they've gone in so deep. I thought their bench was okay, but actually, when they come against the good teams, they are stronger. So I think they need to get Bill and Booker healthy, and
Hmm.
will that could then affect their chances in the seedings, because I think home court's going to still be key in the West. The West has got a lot of teams with aging players, and Draymond mentioned this on his podcast about about them being an aging team. And then he obviously joked with Barkley about his Houston Rockets team, but he said about him being an aging team as well. But Durant's not young. Obviously, Booker is. Bill's not young, neither old. He's relatively young. Well, he's still younger than me, so I can't say he's old. But for NBA thing, he's coming towards it. So Suns have got to sort themselves out there. So I think Suns are in trouble if they don't start, if those guys don't get healthy, or if those guys miss games, because Durant's going to miss some games, or they're going to rest him. But maybe they can't, and then that's subject to injury. So I worry for the Suns at the moment. I do, because I don't think that they're deep enough to have these players resting. I mean, they beat up Detroit last night. Like, it's not a great
I mean,
achievement.
it is early days and there's a lot of basketball to be played, but yeah, you don't want to be, have an uphill battle so early on. And yeah, if they don't get fit, that they could be in a bit of trouble. But don't get me wrong, you can easily go on a 7-6 game win streak, but
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to happen until those two are back.
No, I agree. I
And
just
even
think,
even then, they got to figure it out and work on schemes and plays and get used to each other, build a bit of chemistry. So
no, exactly. But yeah, I saw he was trending, had a little look, and then obviously was like, wow, I'm gonna have to talk about that and watch that. And he played really well, Kevin Durant, and I think he's doing that. And he's what 34, 35, maybe. I
yeah,
think he's about the same age as us. So fair play to him, doing it at that age still, because obviously it's tough with playing against these 18, 19, 20-year-olds that are coming in and dominating like Wemby. So yeah, that's why. Yeah, so Suns worried. I'll be worried if I was the Suns right now. Lakers. You said it was friendly. It was fairly friendly. I mean, the 4 hour time difference helps, but semi good time.
well, I did go to bed and I did did watch it in the morning, and I'm glad I went to bed because I think I would have been up all night raging at how badly we played, to be honest. And there was nothing complicated about it. The Magic played harder, out hustled us, rebounded better, scored better, passed better. They just absolutely dominated us. And there I am slating the East when, okay, again, Magic should be maybe a playing team this season, but we shouldn't be getting blown out by the Magic. But I think we're relying on talent a lot at the moment. I mentioned rebounding. I just actually looked. I thought we were going to be one of the worst rebounding teams, but currently we're 15th. So we're in the middle, and we are awful at rebounding. So the last few days I've been thinking, is rebounding a bit of a lost art? Because for me, watching basketball, it's probably one of the most important parts of the game.
Yes, agree.
When we're not rebounding and giving up offensive rebounds to the other team, they're getting extra possessions, so extra chances to score. And 9 times out of 10 on a rebound, your defense is not settled. They're sort of everywhere, so they're scrambling. It makes them more tired.
Yeah,
And again, if you're not rebounding, that's several possessions that you're not trying to score, and those second chance points can build up. So even if the team doesn't get a second chance point, like I said, they're still tiring out your team and completely dismembering the defense, and you just get. So I think, and don't be wrong, just watching. I just feel like some teams are clearly not taking it that seriously. If we are middle of the pack when it comes to rebounds, like the only rebounds we're winning are the ones where the other team put up a shot. No one's really going into to get the rebound. It just lands in AD's hands. Like AD can get like 10, 12 rebounds, but recently like 8 of them were just being him standing there and it coming to him. When it comes to going up and getting the ball and actually playing for a rebound, we're just not doing that. And it is killing us. Absolutely killing us.
Well, I think.
So I guess my question to you is: Do you think rebound is a bit of a lost art?
I think in a way it is, but part of it's not. So those players that were good. I mean, Christian Wood should make you a better rebound team as well. Like he was a great rebounder.
He's not main. Is he a great rebounder, or
Well,
is he just big and tall?
But for the Rockets, when they were kind of halfway through, like kind of stuck in the rut with whether they rebuild or not, and when he played for us, he did, especially for in some of the G League games. Now, I thought he'd be a good a solid enough rebounder for you, because at the end of the day, that's primarily going to be his role. But you look at the guys that are leading in the rebounding categories are still solid players for their team. Sabonis, Ayton, and Anthony Davis, Jokic, Gobert, right? So in the 90s, Gobert would probably be more valued. I mean, actually, no, I lie, because what was it, 4 first-round picks? I think they gave up for him 3 first-round picks. But Gobert would be like a more sort of prominent player. But there is still there. But you don't, when you look down further list past Jokic and Gobert, Mitchell Robinson, Vukic. I remember him playing for Sixers, and that was his job back when he played for us in 2008-9. That was towards the end of that sort of era where it was more 2 points in rebounds and playing down low, and then Steph started coming to the league and that 3 points started evolving. So and you go down the, and then there's just I don't want to say a bunch of nobodies because that sounds harsh, because you have got, obviously you got Embiid and Doncic, some other players in there, and Randall, but like, Evan Mobley,
I just get more angry when we have an off rebounding night rather than an off shooting night, because you can have an off shooting night, that happens, but rebound is a lot about effort and
it is,
hustling.
and that's why you're seeing, some of the best players are still doing the rebounds. Like I said, you look at the top of that list, are still some of the best big men in the league. Ayton is great. I think he's a good big man. I think he's going to develop now in Portland. Davis is obviously, when he's healthy, is decent. Sabonis up until last year was very underrated, and now people are seeing his sort of ability. So I think you're right. I don't think there's enough emphasis on it. People would rather look at the other analytics of it. Maybe it's not about getting
shooting threes.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Dennis Rodman be getting paid big bucks like he did in the 90s in today's game. No.
Yeah.
But is he valuable? And Charles Barkley as well.
Yeah, massively valuable, and we're massively missing Vanderbilt. He's not a scorer. He won't have a massive box score, but he will get up and get that ball. And that's, like I say, that's what frustrates me more, is when we're not doing well off the glass and you're just getting pounded, and it's hard to, when you're consistently having a bad start to a game because of the rebounding, then take foothold. So, right, should we move on to X and O's?
Yeah, before we do, just very quickly, I know it's my turn, but who's your favourite rebounders of all time? You're gonna go Shaq because he was and Kareem because they played for the Lakers. I mean, I'd have him up there, but
I'll go Shaq.
I'll go for Moses. So I'm being a bit biased as well, but
I think we're both being biased here, to be honest.
We are, but I think a lot of people would agree with those two because they're two of the best players ever to play in the NBA. They're in the top 75. Cool. But yeah, I agree. All right, I'm looking forward to this because you always come up with a little gem, and I'm sure there's going to be some sort of Sixers related X and O. So let's go.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Right, let's go. So number one, the in-season tournament should be renamed.
Yeah, do you know what? Shout out to Mo. His podcast was great this week. I mean, they're always pretty solid unless he's having a dig at the Sixers. And he said about this and having a sponsor for it. And I completely agree with him that I think there should be a new spark to it. But I think that will come later down the line because they'll do it to create more money. Because I think this year, I think there's not a massive. All right, the NBA players are earning a ton of money, shitload of money. So to me, I don't think to some of them that's going to mean a lot, the extra few $100,000. So I think to get more money, get more stuff, more freebies for the fans, create more stuff, potentially someone subsidized tickets and stuff, things like. I think they should rename it, get a brand in. And
like you said, when you think about in football, we've got the Carabao Cup and all the rest of it, FA Cup, Emirates, whatever they call it these days. So I had an idea for it. Given what happened last week, why not call it the Skims Cup?
Did Mo not say that on his pod?
I don't know, did he? I haven't listened to the episode.
Oh, yeah, he did. So we can't say we're nicking that. So sorry, we're not nicking your stuff. No, I think
I'll come up for another one.
Oh, go on. You better think quick because
yeah, all right.
Copywriting. No, I think you're right.
One for next week.
Yeah, we're thinking of a fun one. No, I think there's definitely should be a good name for it. I think you look at the main sponsor of the NBA. You got Kia, so you can probably make a fun name out of that. You've got American Express are involved, so you've got some big ones there. You could probably change it and move it around to. So there's definitely potential for sponsorship there. What you come up with, what the NBA want to come up with, it's got to be obviously cultural, it's got to be international, it's got to be something that's not offensive or something like that. So they'll be very particular with their thing. I think they're one of the best for branding. They choose their partners right. So I think there'll be a good sponsor next year that'll put a ton of money into it if it goes well this year.
Right, next one. I think I have to narrow it down to 3 instead of 5, to be honest,
Go on,
given
then.
time. Scotty Barnes is an early candidate for most improved player.
He's up there with Kelly Oubre, indeed.
I knew he was going to say that.
No, I must admit, because Scotty had a good game.
Can
I
I
think
can
it's
I can I just
recency
give you some?
biased. Go on.
Yeah, can I just give you some stats from his first 2 seasons to this season? I know it's a small sample size because we're only
Well, we played
six,
them
7
twice, so
games
I've
in.
seen how good he's been. Yes.
So his points have jumped from 15 to 22.
Yeah.
His field goal percentage has jumped from 45 to 51.
Yeah.
3 pointers made has jumped from 0.8 to 2.3.
Yeah.
So that improvement. He's taken more 3 pointers. So his percentage has gone up from 28 to 42.
But yeah, but 20% of his games, or 15%, I don't know the exact maths, I haven't checked, it was against the Sixers, and Harris was guarding him at times. So
That's by the by, Sam. That's by the by.
like,
Rebounds has gone from 6.6 to 9, and assists has gone up from 4.8 to 5.9. It's all pretty. I mean, his turnovers have got higher,
yeah,
but that's going to happen when you've got more responsibility and you're on the ball more.
yeah,
But I think he's a strong
he is up
candidate.
there. I'm not disagreeing. He's up there for sure. He's up there. I would definitely have him up there at the moment. Like I say, small sample size. He's definitely up there, and he's got potential ahead of him.
You like this one. You will generally like this one. Tyrese Maxey will be an all-star as early as this season.
100%. Yeah, yeah. I said this when I went into bookmarket. I told you I've got a good eye for talented players. The only one I've got wrong with was Jahlil Okafor, because I was like, he rolled out of bed and get 20 and 10. But obviously the
Who?
game's changed. Exactly. He would have been a great player in the 90s. I saw him play for the Sixers during the process era when I got to sit pretty much courtside for like $50. I got hit wrong, but outside of that, I've been pretty. A lot of our fans were like, Tony Roten's good. The Tony Roten was like Maxi when he first came into the like fast, quick, and I thought, he's gonna. I was like, he just could not make that layup. Whereas Maxi came in, I was like, this is the guy we've been after. Is everything I wanted? He can make the layups, and the little loop like that, he just throws it up and it just goes in. Yeah, I agree. I think he's there, and I think when you look at it. But talking of Barnes, if he carries on, Barnes could be in there. He's going to have a lot of Canada voting for him, so you've always got that advantage. So I think there's a chance that Scotty Barnes could be in it.
I'm going to disagree with you, and I'm going to say he won't be an all-star till next season.
We'll see. I strongly disagree. If he carries on this the way he started, he will be in.
Yeah, I know, but we all know you're a bit of a homer. In fact, also, my next X and O is Sam Oakley, a massive homer.
No, I am. I'm the reason why I like Philadelphia is because they're obnoxious. Philadelphia fans are hardcore, and we don't care. No one likes us. We don't care, and that's my attitude as well. Like, I love the attitude of Philadelphia.
Well, that's fitting because no one likes you, so
they don't. No, exactly. But no, Maxi. No, on a serious note, I'm not being biased. Maxi's definitely up there for a potential. So he's got to continue it though. But I said Barnes as well. Yeah. I said, there's two players that young players, both early 20s, coming to, both doing really well at the end of the day. So there's a promising future, but it does depend on their performances throughout the rest of the season.
Well, I'm going to have to leave it there because you talk so much. We're running out of time. I have thought of the cup name, the Skechers Cup.
What? Why Skechers Cup?
Because they're coming into the NBA now, aren't they? Signed your boy.
New Balance is who Maxi signed with.
No, Embiid. Oh, you've already forgotten about Embiid. That's it.
Oh,
Maxi's the new one.
Maxi's, yeah. No, I'll get rid of the Embiids. No, yeah, but they're not big enough yet. Well, that could be their launching platform. Platform. Good point. I think they'll go for a more established brand though. Put more money into it. I don't think Skechers will go into it that much.
Yeah. I'm only joking, obviously. I can't think of not who am I to pick a name, so
well, exactly, because you nick other people's ideas.
Yeah. Didn't mean to.
All right, well, guys, thanks for watching, listening. We'll post this Tuesday. So today is the Monday, the 6th. Sixers are playing tonight. So I don't know how they're going to be getting on. And there's loads of games tonight, so there'll be plenty to talk
Lakers
about.
Heat.
It is Lakers Heat as well. Well, I suppose both games are technically tomorrow for us at midnight, past midnight. But,
Right.
yeah.
Well, thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, and don't forget to comment your latest jerseys, and we'll tweet it out as well. Your favourite jerseys.